Okay, TNA's Destination X 2011 pay-per-view has just gone off the air, and I'm meant to do a review on it. I'm a bit tired. It is 5 to 4 in the morning, but nonetheless, I'm here to do my review so I can upload it straight to YouTube. And by the time I wake up in the morning, it'll be online. And I wanted to do it all then, basically, and I wanted to review it in the morning when I've forgotten about everything. But right, anyway, let's get straight onto it. I'm gonna not blabber. First off, we had Samoa Joe versus Frankie Kazarian. Now this happened so long ago. Let me try and remember what happened. It was an alright match to start the night off. I remember Kazarian won the match with a roll up. What you expect from these two guys, nothing out of the ordinary happened. Nothing went too badly wrong in the match. Like I said, nothing. I haven't really got nothing to say about this. It was an opening match. It sets the tone for the evening, and things can only get better. Right, then we got Douglas Williams, and then someone's going to answer his. He's just given out an open challenge, and recently on TNA Impact, or should I say Impact Wrestling now it's called. He's rejoined with Magnus and Rob Terry as the British Invasion. I don't know if they still call themselves a British Invasion, but basically he's rejoined with them. They all come down to the ring, and then some guy called Mark Haskins, who's apparently from the UK. As an English wrestling fan, I should really know who he is. I'm embarrassed to say I do not recognise the guy. I think I've heard of the name, but then again, you have so many wrestling names in your life as a wrestling fan that they all just blend together. So yeah, I didn't recognise the guy. He seemed okay. He seemed a little bit amateurish. Watching him wrestle didn't make me think that this guy needs to be on the roster. Maybe in a few years' time, because he did seem quite young. But right now, we don't. It doesn't seem like TNA Impact Wrestling, whatever you want to call it, as a placer on the roster. Douglas Williams got the win. Yep, with a schoolboy beating Mark Haskins. Yeah, again, nothing else to say about this match. Douglas Williams carried it for the most part. Yeah, again, average match, nothing exciting just yet. Then we had Eric Young looking for a tag team partner, and then he goes and there's this table of guys, and they're all signing autographs, and it's just three masked guys. It's Suicide, Sangriento, and Curryman, I believe the three people were. And obviously one of them's Daniels, who's Curryman, Sangriento's Amazing Red, and I don't know who Suicide is, to be honest. I've heard it might be Frankie Kazarian. I've heard it's Daniels as well, so obviously it wasn't Daniels at this time because Curryman was stood there. So it's probably Kazarian at this moment in time. But yeah, basically Eric Young saying, "Oh, I need a tag team partner, I need a tag team partner," and then we hear Stone Cold Steve Austin's voice, and of course it's Shark Boy. Shark Boy comes and says, "I'll be your partner." That's a rubbish Austin impression, and I'm tired, leave me alone. Yeah, so it's Austin, it's Eric Young and Shark Boy to take on Generation Me, an established tag team. So I'm thinking there's only going to be one winners here, and that's going to be Generation Me. I was surprised Eric Young and Shark Boy ended up getting the win, which I thought didn't really make much sense from wrestling standpoint. Of you've got a tag team here, Generation Me, put them over these. This is just a throwaway tag team. Eric Young doesn't need to win to be over. Neither does Shark Boy. They're both gimmicks. They're both like I'm a really big fan of Eric Young. He's really funny. He's like the Santino, but for more grown-up people, if you know what I mean. Santino's gone very childlike nowadays in the WWE. But yeah, Eric Young is a great character. They put him over. I would have personally liked to see Gen Me go over. Again, a pretty good match this one. Better than the two previous matches that have been on this card. But yeah, moving on. Next up, we had what's the X division? Ultimate X. We had an Ultimate X match. Now, I actually cannot remember who the fourth guy was, and I was supposed to find out before I started the video, and I forgot to. Anyway, it was Amazing Red, Alex Shelley, Robbie E, and let me try and remember off the top of my head. Alex Shelley, Robbie E, Amazing Red. No, I can't remember who the other one was. I'm sorry, I just can't remember. I should have really found out before this. Anyway, yeah, Alex Shelley ended up getting the win. This one wasn't amazing. It was your regular Ultimate X match. I've said that about all these matches. This is a rubbish review, isn't it? I said that about my last video as well. Have I lost my knack reviewing? You tell me. I don't know. Is this a good review? I don't know. Tell me. Anyway, I'm going to try and make it better. I'm going to try and make it better by talking faster. No, by going into more detail. Yes. Alex Shelley ended up getting the win. There's a point where he was sat on the X above the top, and I thought Robbie was going to jump up and knock him down, and this match would continue, but he didn't. And then Alex Shelley did get the X off and won the match. I think this was a number one contenders match as well, so Shelley's got a number one contenders shot for, I don't know, maybe it's this coming Impact, I don't know, because they're making this coming Impact into a big one, aren't they? Because obviously this month's pay-per-view was only X Division wrestlers, so they're having the world title match, the monthly one, on the next episode of Impact's Wrestling, which is going to be Anderson versus Sting. Yeah, next up we had Rob Van Dam versus Jerry Lynn in a really good match. Now this is where wrestling chemistry really comes into play and really helps out a match, because this would have just been an average match if you'd just done any two guys in there, like either anyone with Rob Van Dam or anyone with Jerry Lynn, and it would have been a like I would have said, a regular Jerry Lynn match or a regular RVD. But because these two guys know each other so well, they can go above and beyond the regular stuff that they do, and they can kick out the stuff that they usually wins in the match, and they can basically just come up with new combinations to moves that we've seen before, but we've not seen the new combinations, or we rarely see the new combinations. This was a really good match. I highly recommend people go out and watch this match. I'm actually going to go and watch the older RVD and Jerry Lynn matches in the next few days, because I'm actually really into this feud now. I want to relive, not so much relive the feud, but relive a few of the matches, the highlights. The highlight matches, the matches which were better in their rivalry. Sorry, my eyes are starting to close now. I can feel my eyes starting to close, getting heavy. Anyway, the show must go on. We've got next up, yeah, RVD won the match with a 5-star frog splash, and really good match. I can't hype this one too much. This was a match of the night for me. Actually, no, yeah, I say match of the night for me. Yeah, now we're moving on for the contract match. It was Loki, Zima Ion, is that what they call him? Shima Zion, he's called in on the Indies. I can't remember where I've seen him. I saw him on, I think it was the same show that they had Shockmaster the Robot or whatever it was called, and Tommaso Ciampa won a tournament. It was a Super 8s tournament or something like that. I think I seen him on that show. Anyway, Austin Aries gets the win over Loki, Shima Zion and Jack Evans to win the contract. This is a really good match. All these guys put it out there in the ring. Real like false finishes sort of thing, where just when we think we're going to get the win, someone comes in there, dives in and breaks up the count, and then the match continues. It was really good. The psychology works as well, because in these matches you can do the sort of things where it's like a bit of a spot fest, because everyone's trying to take risks and everyone's trying to impress to get the contract. So for this, the sort of psychology can lapse it a little bit, because it does make sense and it adds to the match. And I thought this was a really good match. Like I said, Austin Aries getting the win and the TNA contract. Then we had the X Division title match, Abyss versus Brian Kendrick. Now I really wanted Brian Kendrick to win the title going into this match, but I've got a few points about it that I'll say after I talk about the match. Abyss was dominating, and then somehow the referee got knocked over, then Eric Bischoff came down, then Kendrick knocked out Eric Bischoff, then out of nowhere, well, from the aisleway, Immortal come down, Bully Ray, Gunner and Scott Steiner, they come down to give Kendrick a beating, and then out of nowhere all the X Division guys start coming down, and then there's a big massive brawl and no one knows what's going on. And then I believe it was like a roll up, not a roll up, I can't, what's some, basically is where Kendrick is sat on top of Abyss, sort of like the petrol pump sort of thing, and he's got his legs hooked, I think, and then Earl Hebner, poor timing, I think he was supposed to be in the ring, but he was outside the ring, but he looks in and then he counts on the mat while he's still outside. It looks a bit silly, but at least he didn't like stop selling his injury because he'd just been hurt and gone outside the ring. At least he didn't just get up and go, oh, I'm fine now, there's a pinfall, 1, 2, 3. He, from the outside, he was all groggy, and 1, 2, 3, it was alright. Brian Kendrick is your new X Division champion. And then we had the main event of the evening, AJ Styles versus Christopher Daniels in a really good match. Again, like I said with the RVD Jerry Lynn match, this is where not psychology, chemistry between two guys really helps a match, because these two guys know each other so well. They had a great little cat and mouse bit where basically AJ was trying to hit Daniels with a move, but then Daniels knew what was coming, so he'd run around the ring, and because there's 6 sides as well, you can run around. There's a lot more places to run around, and it adds more dimensions to the match. which is awesome. I really like the six-sided ring. It's not so much suited to for bigger guys, but for littler guys, I think they can pull off far better matches in the six-sided ring than they can in a four-sided ring. When it's a one-off occasion, like for a full-time basis, I sort of prefer the four-sided ring. But if they're going to do Destination X or the Next Division pay-per-view every single year, yeah, I'm fine with them bringing the six-sided ring back every single year and giving us that one more night of it. Because when it's just one night, it's a nice novelty and it really works really well. Yeah, AJ Styles won this. I think he won the Styles Clash, and then after the match he goes to put his hand out to shake Christopher Daniels' hand, and Daniels won't do it, and then he waits a few seconds and he does do it, and I was expecting Daniels to turn on him. I'm so glad that he didn't, because this is like a sort of like Russo swerve and shitty Russo booking that everyone likes to complain about, including myself. But they didn't do that. They kept some friends, and then this is going to move on to maybe something else. Maybe hopefully they'll stay friends, and this won't be a fallout to this. They'll tag her against someone else. Something, I don't know. But yeah, my main thought coming out of this was that although we had 3 really good matches in the contract match, which Austin Aries won, the RVD Jerry Lynn match, and the AJ Daniels match, although we had 3 really good matches, if this was supposed to make us care about the X Division, why didn't they put somebody else who isn't Brian Kendrick against this? Now, nothing against Brian Kendrick, he's a really good worker, but when I think of Brian Kendrick, I don't really think superstar, I just think wrestler, good wrestler, but still wrestler. Whereas an AJ Styles, a Christopher Daniels, a Samoa Joe, a Rob Van Dam, even Jerry Lynn, maybe not Jerry Lynn, but like Joe, RVD or AJ, especially those 3 guys, if they put one of those against Abyss, you wouldn't have got as good as a match as you did out of the RVD and AJ matches. However, you would have got more credibility going to that title, and if that's what it was about at the end of the day, I would have definitely done that rather than putting Kendrick in. No, like I said, nothing against Kendrick, he is a good worker, but he's not the guy to build a division around. You want to build a division around somebody like an AJ Styles, a Rob Van Dam, even though, well, how can I explain this? Us watching it, we're thinking these are heavyweight guys and they should be going for the heavyweight title. If they started going for the X Division title, that might take a little bit of credibility away from an AJ Styles or an RVD, and we might be like, oh, they can't cut it in the main event scene or whatever. But it would add a hell of a lot of credibility to the X Division title if someone like an RVD or an AJ Styles, someone who's got world title credentials, not just in TNA, but if they're in WWE, both guys could be world champion, especially RVD. We've seen him already hold the WWE title back in 2005 or 2006. But yeah, they've picked Brian Kendrick, so obviously they're not putting too much emphasis on the X Division anymore. I don't see TNA going in a new direction after this, but however, I am really glad they did do this one pay-per-view. Like I said before, if they do it every single year, I'm happy with that. It's a great little thing to do every single year. As a novelty, I do enjoy it. I would enjoy it if TNA did move in a new direction. However, I don't expect them to. I'm not, like I said, I'm not expecting them to. I'm tired. I can't think articulate my words as well as I'd like to. So I'm going to start wrapping it up now. How would I rate this show? I'd give it like a 6 or a 7. 6.5 out of 10. I did enjoy it. I'd like those, especially the RVD matches and the AJ Styles matches. Really good matches. Check those out. Check out the Aries match. Check out the Ultimate X match if you like. I can't remember who the 4th guy was. That's really annoying me. But yeah, let me know what you thought of the show. Did you order it or did you just stream it online? Let me know down here. Let me know what you think TNA is going to do from now on. What do you think they're going to do with these wrestlers? What's the next step for all these guys? Because they did a lot. They brought a lot of new guys. Well, not a lot of new guys in, but they had Mark Haskins on the show. They had Shark Boy coming back. They had obviously Loki, Zema Ion, Jack Evans, and Austin Aries on the show. So what do you see next for all these guys? What did you think of the pay-per-view? What did you think of my review? Thank you very much for watching. And in closing, good night.